Golden State and the Clippers. They're the top two guys, top two teams in my opinion.
No, you're 100% right. Yo, the Wild Wild West is back. It really is. So, and this is a new animal that Ja hasn't had to deal with. And I'm not gonna knock the guy. And John, you mentioned the injuries. The guy plays like he's D Rose, man. The closest replica to what I remember watching when D Rose was being when he was an MVP player for the Bulls. I see that when I watch John Morant. So I mean, you cross your fingers and you pray that he never has no terrible injuries like that. But there isn't a star out there available. And like you said, Donovan Mitchell doesn't fit the bill. I mean, it's easy to say everybody wants a star on their team, but not necessarily that star is going to fit your team. I mean, look at the Knicks, look at Carmelo. Not everything is a match made in heaven right away. Things take time, things boil over. So the only thing I could think of, and this is a long shot, but the future in Milwaukee isn't promised for Giannis. And but I can't see Giannis finding his way over to Memphis.
No, I think if I'll just touch on it real quick. I think two legitimate, and I'm not just saying my the Heat because I'm a Miami Heat fan, but I do think that there's a little legitimate traction that can be made when that contract is up. I think Dallas and Miami are two places that Giannis would fit perfectly. Um, yeah, I agree with you, Justin. There's no, I mean, when that report came out about them getting KD, that was the shot right there. I mean, you needed to dot, and I heard, so they weren't willing to include Triple J
And
nor
Desmond.
Desmond Bain, right?
Mhm.
And actually, I just want to comment on it because I watched a little bit of when John was on the Pick a Side podcast and they talked about this. And I forget who it was. What's his name?
Joel or Joel?
No, the other one.
He's in the
He sits.
middle, Joel.
Oh yeah. Or maybe it was a different pot. Did you guys talk about it when you were on the Memphis trade? Or was that?
We
I
didn't
think it
make a
was the
trade.
episode after. I think it was the
Oh,
episode
yeah, that
after.
was Will. Will has the curly blonde hair,
No.
glasses. I think I don't know if he's
Rick,
wearing them.
what's his
Oh,
name?
Riv.
Riv.
Yeah.
Sorry. Apologies, Riv. I knew it was something. Okay. I think he scoffed at it when they said you're not gonna willing to give up Desmond Bain for Kevin Durant. Are you stupid or are you dumb? Either one. Pick your poison because you're either one. Desmond Bain for Kevin. I do that in a heartbeat. Take it. Go ahead. I got Kevin Durant. I'm a legitimate top three contender in the West right now with KD and Jean Morant and Triple J and Steven Adams down low. Come on. And you still keep Dylan Brooks and what you do that 10 times out of 10. If they were going to accept it, the Nets probably weren't going to accept it, but you take that 10 times out of 10. So Kevin Durant was their best shot. I mean, yeah, there's no other star or superstar out there that's, wanting to get out. Maybe a Bradley Beal, but I don't think that even puts them over the top. I really don't.
Now, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Brian, you love Klay Thompson. I know that, and you have
Love me.
had him as high as top 10 in the league.
I won't, but yeah, when he was at the height of powers, he was my number 10 best player in the league.
So you value a perfect backcourt complement to a star, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what Desmond Bain is for John Morant. And so the Grizzlies, they say, if we get rid of Desmond Bain and we have Dylan Brooks filling in, Dylan is a very good culture piece, but he's not really a reliable shooter. But Desmond Bain is one of the 7 best shooters in the whole league. And he was averaging almost 20 a game in his sophomore season. He's as sturdy a wing player as they come because he doesn't really have a weakness. He can do a little bit of everything outside the shooting aspect. That is why they want to include him. Because you look at all the assets, they could have given up a Zaire Williams, who was worth a lot more than Bain, and like 5 picks. So I think to them, they're saying we can still get a package
No,
done
I
without
think they
including him.
honestly, I think they would have had to give up both and the picks. Because I mean, it's Kevin Durant. You've said to yourself, Joe Tsai's not going to take a stupid deal, or Sean Marks is not going to take a stupid deal. He would have said, "I want Zai." He might have even said, "I want Triple J, Desmond Bain, and the 5 picks." Do I dive at that? I think about it. I really do. I consult my people and I really think about that because Kevin Durant with John Morant, the culture, the coach, defensive nature, you got a shot.
And if you're Memphis, I know John Morant tweeted easy money when KD requested his trade as if he was going to compel Kevin to come to Tennessee. Memphis, I think it's an awesome place to live. No state income tax. A lot of people go there for school, and the basketball team's awesome. Football team's not bad either. Um, but you're not getting the star talent, and this is your best opportunity through trade to get a top 5 player, or arguably a top 15 player of all time. This opportunity doesn't come around often. The backup plan to me is Pascal Siakam. If you give up the existing package of Zaire Williams and the 3 first-round picks,
It's not putting you over the top.
how
Nope.
about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
I don't really know how that fits. They're both point guards.
Shea's a combo. We'll see if his 3-point shooting will be at 41% or 30.
I still don't think that gets it done.
Okay.
I mean, maybe Shea becomes a superstar, but again, this is a star driven league, and you know, it's because we're looking at it and we're comparing them to the other best teams in the West, and Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, Clay and Dre, uh, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. Like, come on, Ayton, Chris Paul, Devin Booker. You got to compete with that type of power.
I'm afraid to say Memphis might have peaked.
Yep, they might have peaked. And we've seen it before. I can't think of teams that have come off, but we've seen it before, the Cinderella stories. But they don't, obviously work out at the end. Those ones where they make the run, but then they don't.
So moving on to
Real quick before you end, fortunately for Memphis, I get you guys saying they peaked, and yeah, I'm with you guys. There's no star out there, but the team is still young. Desmond Bane's only 24. How old is Ja? 23. Zaire's how old? 20. Hey man, as long as nobody's sustaining any terrible injuries, why can't they? I don't think they peak. Maybe the sky's the limit for them, man. If they're healthy, I'm not saying this is the year. I don't even think next year is the year. But at some point, this star that we're talking about is going to become available. Memphis is an attractive spot.
it is, and the ceiling is high, but we are seeing some pretty catastrophic injuries to Jaren. He's 22. He's already had torn meniscus that he missed over a full year recovering from, and now this foot surgery for 4 to 6 months. That's just 2 years. And he's also very frustrating on the court as well. Don't get me started on his foul issues and his inability to set his feet on a 3-point shot. Because I've made several YouTube videos specifically on if this dude can just grow as an offensive player, they are taking that next step. They are literally a Jaren Jackson. Joel said it on Pick Side. They're a Jaren Jackson Jr. leap away from being a contender. If he can be a 20 and 10 guy that's making 40% of his 3-pointers as he was as a sophomore almost, with Desmond Bain making 40%, Steven Adams creating space for Ja around the rim, this offense is top 5. The defense is top 5. That's a top end contender.